All right, so I did a thing. There are 68 cars entered into this anything on 28's race today. 68 cars. This might be the biggest small tire class of 2025 at this point. I mean, actually, I know for a fact it is. It has to be. I don't think there's been any 28-inch class that's had more small tire cars entered in it in 2025 at all, period. And this is gonna be a hard one to top. So hats off to Poland and Jimmy Dale on that. Goodness. Anyways, we are still having some compressor issues. Our current issue right now is the cheap green belts we're getting from O'Reilly's, and that's about the only thing we can find right now. We've tried lots of other different auto parts stores, and we're not able to find belts that are like within the size range we need to put on the car or on the compressor. But the issue we're having right now is these green ones, they get a little warm when we put some load to them when the pressure starts coming up, and that causes them to stretch, and then they slip, and then they get hot, and then they stretch, and then they go wompy, and then they fall off sometimes or snap. So I figured we've had a lot of success this weekend. We really have. I mean, we came out with one real good pass under our belt on the system, and we went to the finals last night. We went to the finals. We ran numbers that were faster than, almost every round was faster than we'd ever been here before, you know, to a previous date. And that's pretty freaking kick butt. And we've been here on the blower, we've been here on turbos. I mean, now we're here on the compressed air stuff, and I mean, we're resetting our personal best. So it took the Studebaker to outrun us. So I'll let you guys use the P word. I'm not going to use it because, like I said before, it's an all steel body car that's on factory wheelbase, and I mean, that's it. I mean, it sits like us. It's got some body modifications to it that help it take advantage of some airflow. And you know, Brandon's he's a badass driver. There's no really assist in that thing. So it's a tough competitor and extremely tough build to beat. And there's so much stuff they can do to that car to make it even deadlier. So we're just gonna have to keep stepping up what we can do. You know, we are working within some limitations of, you know, I don't want to shape my body like his. You know, I'd rather have a removable type tuner wing here and there that may help on those kind of surfaces, but I'm not going to go the method he did. So anyways, we called him out for first round today. Megan was okay with this. One of my crew members was okay with this, the other one not so much. I figured with as many compressor problems we're having, and with as tired as we are from last night, that it would suck to go through the whole day to get to the same point when the track gets tighter, that we end up with near the same result. I did make changes to the car that should help. Like if we reran the final right now in the same exact conditions, I think we'd do a way better job. But I'd rather kind of just do it early and be done versus doing it, you know, 4 or 5 rounds in, because it's going to take 7, 8 rounds to complete this. I don't want to go 5 rounds in, get knocked out, and we've been here till 2 in the morning or later again to get that far and go home with nothing. So let's just do it now. Let's just let it hang. Let's get him done now. And he doesn't have to put laps on his car anymore if he loses. I ain't got to fiddle with this compressor anymore for the weekend, and I can get the parts coming that I want, to build it the way I want, to do what I want to do with it. So that is where I'm at. So it's not quite giving up or quitting, because we're all prepared to put in the work and the effort it's going to take when we beat the Studebaker to keep going, and we're confident we can do it. So take it as you may. we're gonna do this. So he said that this is the second time ever in his racing career he's accepted a call out because he thinks it's bad juju. We feel the same way, but we've already both made money for the weekend. You know, he made a lot more than I did and got some really cool stuff. He gave me a big ass stack of 20s. Thank you. But let's just finish this out today. Boom. And if we make it, we make it. If we don't, we don't. And you know, either way, we came out, we did a lot, we learned a lot, we did great for ourselves. We were faster than a lot of people, and you know, we were faster than ourselves were here ever before. So I mean, that's pretty awesome. So headed to the lanes. It's 5:30. The track is being pretty tricky. We just watched a lot of little gangsters. A lot of guys spun either in a 60 foot in the left, or they're spinning kind of mid-track in the right. So each lane's got positives and negatives. Oh hey, I forgot the laptop. We gotta flash the car real quick. That's important. Here, let's take it around for a loop or something. Just take it to the lanes. Both my guys gone? He's already on it. Oh. Forgot the laptop and Ty just ran back to go get it. So I needed a flash tune-up and my laptop was dead, so we had to charge it up. So Stude Baker just went by. So I don't know what lane we're gonna get yet, but we're gonna send the same tune-up down both of them. All right, we're good, Ty. Let's just go. So. Oh boy. Wait, we'll try. All right, rolling up. Let's do this. See what happens. What lane do you think I'm gonna get? Think we're gonna get the left lane? I think the left lane holds 60 foot better. Usually when the sun's down. Right now it's not. And then, what lane do you think I'm gonna get? I don't know what lane I'm gonna get. You probably have about as much information on it as I do. So, boom, boom, boom. All right, so here we go. We had to wait a little bit for fire marshal to clear out because we were being too loud, and the loud cars hadn't even gone yet. And that's us. So getting suited in, off we roll. Well, we made them work for that one, but we still got clipped in the end. That thing's just got insane ability to put down power on the big end. They've got that thing moving on the big end. Man. All right, well, that concludes our trip to Yellow Belly this time. We still made a really stout pass. So it was easily on target with our off the trailer pass that we made last night, it looks like. And today we did it in the heat of the day. Man, well, we did what we could. Did what we could. All right, well, we're gonna get loaded up. So apparently there was a mix-up on the tree, and they still had a separate index, 530 index, which obviously we both broke out of, and he broke out more because he beat me. So my wind light came on. So unfortunately for Eric and Tyler and everybody else in the starting line, who was extremely ecstatic that we got the job done, we in fact did not get the job done. Sorry. Let's see. Number one asked question. Hey, how do you like the CAS system? Well, my exact answer would be that everywhere we've ran it, we have set personal bests for that location for the type of surface that it was.
How much boost do you make with the CAS system?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that is purely RPM dependent since it's CFM delivery. We can make however much boost as a restriction of the CFM that we're flowing at that particular RPM at that time.
But it's not the same kind of RPM dependent that a blower technically is.
Correct, because that is speed related, and you increase the impeller speed.
And it doesn't have any cross burn parasitic loss.
Correct, we don't have any parasitic loss. So how much boost does it take to actually run decently quick? About 45% of the same boost that it would take on the Pro Charger combination is all it takes to run this. So for example, 44 pounds on the Pro Charger would run about as fast as 18 pounds on this system. Or in turbo world, for the turbos that we had, about 36 pounds of boost would run about the same as what 18 pounds of boost does for the CAS system, or 44 pounds of boost does for the Pro Charger.
How much does it weigh?
How much does it weigh? So the CAS system weighs about 100 pounds. So like when I say about 100 pounds, like plus or minus 1 or 2. I haven't weighed the whole system since we built the whole system and put all the lines and fittings on it. But I do know that rough guesstimations from like weighing individual components, about 100 pounds. Very, very similar to the Pro Charger combination. Pro Charger weighed about 95 to 100 pounds itself.
Why the switch?
Why the switch? So we made the switch because I wanted to try something different, and I see a lot of potential in it. So those potentials being incredibly low intake air temps, wide tuning windows, and we now are able to move weight in different areas of the car because we don't have to compensate for extra nose weight that we would normally have with a front mounted turbo or blower combination.
Is it safe?
Is it safe? Well, it's just breathing air, so it's very non-volatile, it seems like. Our spark plugs are telling us to just keep getting after it on the tune-up, and that's going to increase our power potential in situations where your motor technically should be able to make that kind of power. We're going to be able to do it detonation free and not hurt the system, or not hurt the vehicle doing it.
Who else runs this?
So everybody that doesn't know, Tina Pierce and Mark Griffin also run this system. It was tried by Mickey Thompson in the 70s, but they didn't have much success. Technology has changed a bit in the last 50 years, and now we have something that actually does work pretty dang well.
You're able to supply all that air with 2 lines?
Just 2 20 AN lines. We shut off outside air. We use just the 2 20 AN lines, and it can flow all that CFM. It is extremely surprising, but when you start moving things at pressure, it's amazing how much you can shove through an orifice.
How much intake air temp do you receive?
Oh, so we usually start around, well, we see about a 50-degree drop right now. So when I say that, we're gonna see on the starting line, we're about 99 to 105 degrees. And then by the finish line, we're seeing about 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
How long does it take to fill the system up?
Oh yeah, how long does it take to fill a system up? Well, when the trailer's full, we can fill in about 5 to 7 minutes if we're not taking our time. We do see some pressure variances if we do a fast fill on the car. So if we fill the car to 3,300 PSI in a very quick manner, then after the car settles for about 15-20 minutes, we may see 100 to 150 PSI loss, which in some situations we may want to make sure we have that kind of pressure. So we try to leave the car hooked to the mother system for as long as possible until temperature is stabilized across the board. Because there's about a 10 to 15 degree difference between the mother bottles and the fill bottles, what we've seen with the little tip gun, when we're doing a fill from about 1,100 PSI on the mother, or on the car side, to 3,300 pounds on the car side once we're done.
Is this considered boost?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's boost. Although we can also fall underneath that bottles is for babies criteria, apparently. Thank you, Brandon.
I feel like it's an extremely cold air intake. It's the coldest
Extremely cold air intake.
I mean, it's like the coldest cold air intake I've ever seen.
Yeah, it is pretty chill. It is pretty cool. The dang, I just had a good one. Lost it. Oh, I do consider it boost for sure, just because we do make positive manifold pressure. Although it would be cool to get into bottle fed, 484 bore space classes. That'd be kind of neat.
Never thought of that.
Well, usually it's called nitrous or NOS.
Yeah, it's the bottle
484
fed.
class.
It's bottle fed.
But yeah, if we stick bottle
baby
fed,
class.
yeah.
How many passes can you get off of one bottle?
So on the car side, you're gonna want to refill every pass you make. So if you go out there and you make like a test hit to the 60 foot, I would recommend filling the system back up unless you're only going to go to 60 to 330. So much like nitrous, in one way, you can make as many passes as you want until you're out of capacity on your system. So by that, if you run a 10-pound bottle, and if you don't take into account your pressure loss you have with nitrous, which reduces your nitrous flow, you know, you can make runs until you run out of your nitrous in your bottle. On the CAS system, you can make passes as many times you want as long as your car side is above 500 psi, give or take. Once you get below that, regulation kind of starts to fall off, and you're not going to be able to maintain your line pressure that you're trying to hit for a goal.
What's easier to tune, Pro Charger or CAS?
Pro Charger is the absolute easiest power adder I have ever tuned, bar none. That thing is extremely easy to tune. The CAS system, we did some pretty consistent passes this weekend.
Well, in the defense of the CAS system, you had the Pro Charger on there for what, year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah, but we nailed the tuning on that in like an outing.
Yeah, but it's also you. So I mean.
But we also beat the ETM mile per hour from the Pro Charger. I mean, we ran the Pro Charger at Yellow Belly like 3 times, and we went faster on our first pass than we ever went with the Pro Charger.
And
at Yellow Belly, you know, talking surface to surface.
And technically, we were on the 136.
Oh yeah, we did. We had the 136 really slowed down though. It was one of those things we had to do that one time. Like we were just kind of forced into it.
Mm-hmm.
But it worked. I mean, it worked really good. The 121 that weekend had eaten a June bug, so we had to put the 136 on. So we had to try a gear set that we never had tried before with that blower, and it worked really good. Yeah, 135 gear set. So
when are we going to see a screw blower on there?
probably never, because I don't have that kind of money. Because this system, even with like all of my compressor issues, is still about half of a used DRC rotor.
And that falls in the category of the same as what system have you not utilized that you use?
So the only type of power adder I have not owned and ran on my own vehicle is any type of roots or screw type supercharger.
Why did you make the switch for this weekend from big block or LS to big block?
So although the LS I am fully confident can run the ETs we ran this weekend with the big block, we have 0 test time with that. So we knew what ET range we needed to be in, and we knew plus or minus 50 pounds on the car placement wise what we needed to run those numbers, and we nailed it. Just wanted to put out there a little FAQ for today. So this was definitely a frequently asked questions list. All right, peace out. We're out of light.